Hello there, people of the internet. Welcome back to another video. Today we are reacting to disturbing police sketches and photos by Nightfare with 8.52k subscribers. So I just thought this was an interesting topic, and honestly I couldn't think of much else to do today. I wasn't even going to make a video in honesty, but I thought we could do something chill here. Nightfare, I hope you don't mind me reacting to your content. Obviously, the link will be down below. Go subscribe, go show some support, and let's just jump straight into this, shall we? Let's just have a nice, chill video.
Television programming on WMAQ-TV, Channel 5, NBC in Chicago. We now leave the air and wish you a pleasant good morning.
Okay, dokie. Nice. Yeah, I think the problem with me reacting to videos is I think too deeply into doing it, and I just want to make it a chill environment, you know? WMAQ Chicago. Missing. Joanna Lopez. Oof.
You wouldn't think that images intended for the good purpose of locating someone would ever turn out to haunt the people that view them.
Yeah.
However, that's exactly what happens with a myriad of police photos and sketches.
Yeah.
Tonight, we're going to dive into a few of these disturbing photos so that we can dissect their stories and maybe figure out what makes them all so eerily unsettling. So kick back, get cozy, and enjoy the video.
Okay, dokie. Okay, let's enjoy this. I think they do it on purpose to really have it stick in your mind.
Our first story starts on September 19th, 1999, in Cranbrook, Pennsylvania. An unnamed 10-year-old girl was walking along the side of the road with her two friends when they noticed that a certain teal car had passed by them multiple times. After a final pass, the driver finally parks the car and steps out. He approached the girls and inquired about the location of a yard sale. But before the unnamed girl could answer, the man grabbed her, threw her over his shoulder, and brought her into the car.
Damn.
The man fled the scene down south on State Route 160 towards the town of Berlin. As he drove, he pulled out a handgun and pointed it at the girl, stating that he would kill her if she didn't stop screaming. He subsequently put down the gun and struck her across the head. At one point along the drive, the man pulled over to the side of the road and moved over to the passenger seat, where he assaulted the girl. When another vehicle started to slow down and approach the man's car, he told the girl to lie down as he sped off, crossing the state line into West Virginia. Eventually, the man made it to his destination, a remote location later determined to be along West Virginia Route 26, south of Markleysburg. It was here that he committed unspeakable acts against the girl. The man then ordered the girl to clean herself with paper bags that he had brought along with him in the car, as he did the same. He then proceeded to toss the bags out the window as they got back on the highway and continued to drive towards Markleysburg. After traveling a short distance, he stopped the car and forced the girl out. He told her to count to 100 and then walked to a nearby convenience store where she could call her parents.
Damn.
The girl got out and the man...
God, I imagine the trauma that comes from that.
As the girl walked along Route 26, a passing driver picked her up and contacted Pennsylvania State Police. Now, the article where I'm getting my information from doesn't mention anything about where this police sketch came from, so I'm just going to assume that the girl described to the police what the man looked like, and this was the end result.
Jesus Christ.
For me, what makes this image so disturbing...
Look at that mustache.
...is
it's that little pencil mustache.
Uncanniness of it all. The whole
uncanniness. This man looks like a freaking ghoul. This man looks like an NPC in Oblivion. He looks like a high elf.
Face is disproportionate. The massive pupils make the man look like he almost has dark pits for eyes. The entire lower half of his face seems like it has been stretched, leading to
he has been stretched.
A long nose and almost no chin. Jumping back, back to the story, while the police were searching along Route 26, they discovered the bags the man had cleaned himself with, and they were able to get fingerprints and DNA samples. However, when the samples were submitted into the FBI's combined DNA index system, no matches were identified. It would be until 2004, 5 years later, that this cold case would gain traction again.
Damn.
The DNA found from the paper bags matched that.
That would haunt you though, wouldn't it? If you're the parents of that child and you know that this is a cold case and like, what did you say, 5 years? And just knowing that guy's still out there, probably doing that to some other poor innocent soul.
An unidentified suspect in 2 other cases from 1988 that were very similar in nature, all 3 of which having to do with young girls. Finally, in December of 2018, FBI agents entered the fingerprints into the system again to look for matches, which resulted in one, Timothy D. Nelson, who had
Jesus Christ, this man looks like Greg Davies, and that's a horrible insult to Greg Davies. I don't think he looks much like his sketch though, but I guess
an unrelated arrest in Maryland a few years prior. Nelson was arrested again, and his DNA
and they got the eyes right. He literally has like pits for eyes.
Tested to match up with that found along Route 26. As of 2019, Nelson was sentenced to 30 years in prison and placed on $750,000 bail.
Yeah, good.
Our second story begins during January of 1989 on the Chicago TV station WMAQ. As you saw in the intro, WMAQ performed their usual sign-off, but immediately after, the viewer was greeted by a missing persons photo for Joanna Lopez.
Bruh. I mean, I'm not being funny. Their glasses, obviously, right? Their glasses on the face. But it just makes them look like they're haunted.
Along with the phone number. According to those who saw this in person, the photos stayed up all night long.
What? Bruh, listen, guys. Imagine this, right? You're there watching this channel, right? And you leave the TV on and you go to sleep, right? You wake up in the middle of the night, TV's still on, deathly silent, and this is staring at you. Mate, I would shit a brick. I would shit a brick, scream like a little Looney Tunes character, and get out. Well, I wouldn't get out, but it would definitely shake me up. That's mad. I've never actually witnessed this kind of thing with, like, I guess it does it happen anymore on TV? Maybe? I don't know. I don't watch TV, so it just seems like it was a very analog thing, like, before everything became digital. But maybe it's still a thing.
I can only imagine that having this image stare back at you all night, only accompanied by the sound of static, would
Static? Oh, that's even worse.
The same incident occurred 2 years later in 1991. The sign-off was followed by the exact same picture and phone number.
Jeez.
As much as people searched, absolutely nothing could be found on Joanna.
How are you meant to find her from that picture? She looks like an anime character. I'm not being funny. You know when the anime characters like freaking do that thing with their glasses and they shine? Looks like that, and I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just being serious.
Was the only known TV station to broadcast this missing persons report. Many people have tried calling the phone number, but it appears to only lead to certain public services. In 1979, the number belonged to the Regional Directory of Prevention and Treatment Resources. In 1986, the Protocol for Child Death Autopsies. And in 1991, the Child Fatality Investigative Procedures Manual.
Oh, imagine that. You ring up and it's a freaking Child Fatality Investigative Procedure Manual.
When WMAQ was asked directly about the case, they stated that it was submitted by an anonymous source who stated that they would call back later, but never did. And there's absolutely no info on why they decided to air the exact same image 2 years later.
That is a bit weird.
The only chance at a lead would come in May of 1994, where an unidentified Jane Doe was killed and later found in an alleyway in Chicago.
Damn.
Many people believe that this could possibly be our Joanna Lopez, but I'm not entirely sure that I can see any resemblance.
No.
Even more unfortunately, I've heard that the killer couldn't remember the name of the woman he killed, so we'll most likely never know her identity.
Damn.
A few months ago, one Reddit user attempted to recreate what Joanna could possibly look like. However, considering that the image is so low quality, it's unlikely.
I mean, if that's what they look like, then man,
that we'll be able to know 100%
they're a good-looking
what Joanna
gal.
looks like from this image alone. The most recent lead came from one of the moderators for r/Joanna Lopez.
You sure it's not just another freaking Selena Delgado?
State that in February of 2022, they were able to search for and contact someone who matched Joanna's age, location, and name. The woman picked up the phone and confirmed that yes, her name was Joanna Lopez, going on to explain that she did run away from home at age 18.
No way.
However, the call was cut short and Joanna said that she would call back later, which after all this time, she never has.
Hey, I mean, maybe she was the person that rang up and said she'd call back later, and she just did it again to this guy.
And it's safe to assume that she probably won't. It's entirely possible that this was the Joanna Lopez we were looking for.
Let's hope it was.
And it's less likely that she was pretending to be Joanna Lopez, considering that the moderator was the one who reached out to her and not vice versa. But of course, we can't confirm anything unless she gives the moderator a call back. And that's the current state of the Joanna Lopez case.
Damn.
If you or anyone you know might have any possible leads for this case, don't hesitate to reach
I'm
out
not being funny, but this it looks like Radical Larry.
at nightfareinquiries@gmail.com.
Oh, that's nice that you're putting yourself out there, though.
Joanna Lopez. Our third story starts way back on the morning of August 22nd, 1987, in Melbourne, Australia.
In Freddie Fazbear's Pizzeria. This is the bite of 87.
A home's window, a balaclava wearing criminal broke
Mr.
into a
Cruel, man. This guy was never found either. Mr. Cruel is just weird.
Meaning that the most disturbing part of these police sketches is that we truly don't know what he looks like, and most likely never will.
This one is just a gimp mask, I think.
Our final story takes place on September 30th.
Should have been called Mr. Gimp.
1952, in Colorado, 6.5 miles south of Black Hawk, in a small gulch off of Highway 119. It's Tuesday afternoon, and Charles Dammoth is at the mouth of the gulch hoping to shoot some magpies while also looking for spent ammunition casings. Dammoth had been in this area many times before, so it was a shock to him when he found something new there. A pyre. More specifically, a large charred log. When he lifted up the log, he found that a body laid beneath it, except it was less of a body and only just 15 pounds of human flesh and bone. The 7-foot log and the woman's body both smelled as if they had been soaked with gasoline. After discovering the body, Dammoth visited the site several times in the same evening before eventually reporting his findings to the authorities. Investigators discovered...
I love how I said we're going to have a chilled video today, and it's just this. Listen, guys, this is not my definition of chill, okay? This is the opposite of that.
A necklace, a fragment of sequined cloth, a small electric razor, metal rivets of blue jeans, the sole of one shoe, earrings, a purse, and an empty lipstick container. They also discovered a man's ring with no setting near the woman's remains. One of the legs had been pulled away from the rest of the skeleton, carried a short distance, and then dropped, possibly by an animal, and a small patch of her hair was still attached to the woman's skull. Police suspected that the woman was killed up to a month before, and that she was possibly killed in a different location before being transported to and burned in the gulch. After an autopsy, it was found that this woman was 5'7", had a prominent overbite, and was killed 20 days prior. The death was most likely caused by bludgeoning to the head, but police were unable to determine whether or not she was alive while being burned. About half a dozen men were interviewed for the crime, including Charles Dammoth. Charles explained during a lie detector test that he had moved to Colorado with his second wife 3 years earlier, who had given birth to their son just weeks before Charles found the body. When asked why he returned to the site several times before reporting it to the authorities, Charles said he just wanted to look at the body. A few days later, a 3-foot-long stick was discovered near the site that had blood all over it, which was determined to be what the murderers used to bludgeon the woman's head. Soon after, Charles divorced his wife and quickly moved out of state to Cass City, Michigan. 6 months after that, a woman who knew Charles reported to the authorities that she had seen his pickup truck near the location of the pyre on September 10th, 20 days before the body was discovered.
Oh, God.
Coincidentally, the same amount of time that the autopsy determined was how long it took for the body to be discovered.
It's not looking
Charles
good,
was again tracked down and forced to take another lie detector test, along with a truth...
Bro, the evidence is there, surely. Or, well, maybe not. He was just in the same location. If there's no evidence linking him to the actual crime, like well, I don't know. It's all different back then, wasn't it? But, like, a lie detector is not feasible in court. Like, you can't just say, oh, he's lying, and then use that as evidence. Because A lie detector can like botch up. It can go with false truths.
Truth serum that was injected into his veins. But again, the results were inconclusive.
Truth
Autopsy
serum
determined was how long it took for the body to be discovered. Charles was again tracked down and forced to take another lie detector test, along with a truth serum that was injected into his veins. But again, the results were inconclusive, meaning that this case would remain unsolved to this very day.
Bruh.
There are many reconstructions of what authorities presume this woman to look like, but only one of them is truly terrifying.
Oh god.
This, like with most disturbing sketches, is another wildly disproportionate face.
It's like a caricature.
The entire head seems unnaturally large and
it looks like a doll.
Misshapen, while the nose is incredibly small, and the mouth...
But I think they do that on purpose so that certain features really stick out so that you don't forget it.
is far too
So that if you see someone with that, it kind of, straight away you think back to this because
big,
like,
and
it
the
just reminds
eyes
you of
are
that.
again just large dark pits.
That's crazy.
Alright, now let's try to understand why all of these images are so unnerving. A pattern that I saw with the first and final police sketches is that they seem to lie at the depths of the uncanny valley. If you're a long-time viewer, you've probably heard me talk about this before, but
Oh, okay, so this is the uncanny valley here. Like anything below here.
for those of you that don't know, the uncanny
Oh no, that's the uncanny valley.
valley is a relationship between an object's degree of human resemblance and the emotional response towards that object. Simply put, the uncanny valley is a sharp downward spike in familiarity as an object increases in human likeness but is not yet 100% human looking. I believe that these and most police sketches fall into the uncanny valley.
My god.
We're afraid and disturbed by them because they look human, yet there are just a few things wrong with them.
Yeah, a few things, Jesus.
That make a big difference.
They
However,
look like ventriloquists.
both Joanna Lopez and Mr. Cruel's pictures are creepy for different reasons. Joanna's being that it's so low quality and unrecognizable, not to mention that it was aired at the dead of night with almost no
that would freak anyone
information pertaining to the case. Mr. Cruel's sketches are disturbing not because they're poorly drawn or of low quality, but because of his signature balaclava.
Yeah.
We don't and most likely will never know what this man looks like, meaning that he could very well still be alive and living
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, in
out
honesty.
his days in Melbourne.
That's crazy.
And that about wraps up what I had planned for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. Like always, thank you for watching, and good night.
Wow, thank you, Nightfare. That was very entertaining. Wow, I don't say entertaining, but it was interesting to say the least. I don't know why morbid curiosity gets the better of me all the time, but yeah, I do enjoy stuff like that in a weird way, not in like a weird, you know, not like it. Shut up, okay? You know what I mean. But there we go, guys. That was Nightfare. Very good content, actually. They deserve a lot more subscribers for sure. So be sure to go check them out. If you did enjoy my reaction, this was a little bit more laid back, although the subject matter was a little bit, yeah. But thank you for watching, guys. I hope you did enjoy, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.